What if tomorrow you woke up and could fly like Superman? The world as we know it would collapse in just 72 hours. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, getting out of bed and simply flying. No need for wings, planes or jetpacks, just you, defying gravity with the same ease you walk. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you that this superpower would actually be the beginning of humanity's greatest nightmare? Today we're going to explore what would really happen if every human being on the planet developed the ability to fly. And believe me, the consequences would be far more devastating than you can imagine. Let's start with the obvious. What would happen to planes, cars, trains and ships within days? The entire transportation industry would collapse completely. Think about it. Why would you pay $200 for a plane ticket if you can fly to your destination for free? Why would you get stuck in traffic if you can simply fly over it? Airlines would lose trillions within weeks. Boeing, Airbus, all car manufacturers, instant bankruptcy. But here's the problem, it's not just companies that would go bankrupt. It's jobs. Millions of pilots, flight attendants, taxi drivers, Uber drivers, truckers, the entire global logistics chain would simply disappear. We're talking about more than 200 million people unemployed simultaneously, and there's more infrastructure. All those roads, bridges, tunnels, airports that cost trillions to build, completely useless overnight. It would be like humanity had thrown 100 years of progress in the trash. Now let's move to something you probably didn't think about: airspace. Did you know there's an extremely complex air traffic control system to prevent planes from colliding? Well, imagine 8 billion people flying with no control whatsoever. It would be absolute chaos in the sky. Mass collisions, people getting lost, constant accidents. And I'm not talking about small bumps. I'm talking about people flying at 60, 120 miles per hour colliding with each other. It would be like turning the entire sky into a highway without traffic rules. But the worst is yet to come: privacy. You know that feeling of security you have at home? Forget it. With flying humans, nowhere would be private. People could fly over your house, peek through your 20th floor apartment window, invade any property simply by flying over the fence. The concept of private property would collapse. How would you define the limits of your property? How high into the sky does it extend? 300 feet? Half a mile? And how would you prevent invasions? There's no fence or wall that protects against someone who can fly. Crimes would become impossible to solve. A thief could simply fly into anywhere, steal something and fly away. How would police catch them? And if the criminal flies faster than the officers? It would be the end of law and order as we know it. But the real catastrophe would be ecological. Have you ever thought about what would happen to birds? The sky has been their habitat for millions of years, and suddenly 8 billion giant humans would invade their space. It would be literal air warfare. Birds would attack humans to defend their territory, especially during migration and breeding seasons. And I'm not talking about small sparrows, imagine geese, eagles, condors attacking people flying in their migration routes. Thousands of people would be injured or killed by bird attacks. But the impact goes far beyond that. Noise pollution would be devastating. 8 billion people flying would create a constant noise in the sky. That would interfere with animal communication, bee pollination, migratory bird navigation. Entire ecosystems would collapse. And then we reach the darkest point: war, with land borders becoming irrelevant. Territorial conflicts would explode. Countries could no longer control their borders. How do you prevent an invasion when invaders can simply fly over any defense? Entire armies would become obsolete. Tanks, ships, land military bases, all useless against enemies attacking from the sky. Nations would be forced to develop new forms of air warfare, resulting in more brutal and destructive conflicts than anything we've ever seen. But here's the twist no one would expect. After all this chaos, after all this destruction, something extraordinary would happen. Humanity would be forced to evolve, facing total extinction due to civilization's collapse. Groups of humans would start organizing into aerial communities, floating cities, nomadic sky, tribes. A new form of society would be born from the ashes of the old one. And here's the most impressive part. Theoretical studies suggest that after a few generations, our bodies would start adapting. Our lungs would expand to deal with the thin air at high altitudes. Our vision would improve for aerial navigation. Our bones would become lighter but more resistant. In 100 years, we might not even be recognizable as the humanity we know today. We would have become a completely new species, Homo Volans, flying humans, perfectly adapted to live in the sky. So next time you dream of flying, remember, sometimes our greatest dreams can become our worst nightmares. What makes us human isn't the superpowers we wish we had, but our ability to adapt and overcome any challenge, even when that challenge is ourselves. Evolution isn't about gaining new abilities, it's about surviving their consequences. If you were impressed by the chaos that the ability to fly would cause, wait until you see what would happen. If humans could teleport, you think flying would be destructive? Teleportation would literally break the physics of our universe. Click on the video appearing on your screen now to discover how humanity could accidentally destroy reality. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because every week we explore impossible scenarios that will make you rethink everything you know about the world. See you in the next dimension.